I'm loud. I'm always going to be loud. And I can't turn this down. It's not a light switch and I can't turn it off. But I had to learn that for myself. And if you're not comfortable, guess what I learned? I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And I'm okay with that.
Fair.
I'm okay with that, right? But the one thing that you will respect is I'm going to be me around you, your mama, your business partner, your dog, your auntie, and your child. Y'all all going to get the same version of who I am because I'm not going to pull that back to make you feel better about being in my presence.
Fair. Because when you do, when you pull that back regularly, we were just talking about this earlier, you start to feel like you losing space, like you're in a cage.
You are.
You're restricting yourself. And you're only showing up as who the people want to see. And we say, I can't have people like that around me. That's the wrong energy. Because the people around you, they can either be your circle or
they can
cage.
be your cage.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome to another episode of First Generation Wealth Builders, where we interview dope people who do dope things. Today, we got a little bit of a spin-off. You know what I mean? I got two ladies in here that are going to, do some revolutionary type of stuff. Like, they about to basically drop so many gems on us and empower us with some knowledge that could actually empower our relationships. So, without further ado, Shanoria and Erica Walker.
Yes, thank you for having us, Erick.
Yes,
we're excited. Listen,
we ready to get into it, honey.
Into the thick of it. But thank you for having me. I am Shanoria, known as the Queen of Wife Coaching, and this is my partner in crime.
I am Erica, and I am your confidence catalyst. And baby, we about to get this thing started.
Listen, all the way in. And in case you're wondering, what we do is we help women, okay, really learn how to make their love last for life and actually enjoy being a wife.
Actually.
Because you'd be surprised how many people are married and miserable right now.
I'm not surprised. But to get started, how did you guys partner up? How'd you guys create this?
Yeah. Well, quite frankly, we didn't create it. That's the truth. This is like our assignment. We were created to do this.
And we just walking in it.
That's it.
Understood.
Well, I like to strut in it.
How long you been doing it?
Well, overall, it's been 11 years, but formally 7 years.
Got you. Overall, meaning the idea was manifested 11 years ago.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So in the beginning, it was more of a side hustle. It was just something that I dibbled and dabbled in while I was still doing my world in corporate. And at the time, that was the government career. And then it just kind of took off that more people were like, well, I need this. Well, I need this too. And I need this too. And so when your side hustle starts to work you out of your day job, and I realized that it was my passion and my purpose, and almost everything that I'd ever experienced was brought into that. And it grew beyond me. And that's when I was like, well, Lord, who is going to help carry this torch? Because I definitely can't do it all by myself. And this face of a friend of mine that's always been there, like since college days, you okay? Special attendant,
that's me.
Okay? In the wedding, all of that, Ace Boone Coon. So I was like, hey, Erica, what do you think about this? And it was such a crazy idea. And at the time, it wasn't even like a blooming business. It wasn't profitable. And a lot of people would never go for it.
Right.
But that's what happens when God has already gone ahead of you. The seed was already planted. So even though it sounded crazy, she was like,
let's get it, let's go. And even when she said seed, we were in places, even in relationships, where we were like, how can we even stand on this type of platform and be able to pour out when, God, we need some stuff ourselves? He was like, don't worry about that. I'm going to use that.
Right.
Don't worry about that. You don't worry about that.
So wait a minute. 11 years ago, I'm assuming you weren't married.
Well, it just depends on which marriage you're talking about. But 11 years ago, I was actually coming out of a very tumultuous and toxic marriage where I'd gotten married for all the wrong reasons, but for all the reasons I've been told to get married, and no disrespect if he happened to see. But I mean, he wasn't a bad dude, and, he had money. He was doing things. He was flossing. He was in Atlanta, living a life. But I wasn't being true to myself. I wasn't being authentic. I didn't.
Is that where
really
you're
understand. Yes. I didn't really understand who I was as a woman. So how in the world could I really be his wife? How in the world could I really speak to him positively and affirm him when I didn't know how to affirm myself?
Hold on. So we going too fast. We're going to have to scoot back.
Look.
All right.
Pull us back. So we was about to go.
So real quick, like, when you first got married, you
Yes.
say you got married for all the wrong reasons.
Absolutely.
What are some of those reasons?
It was time. So I'm in my 20s.
Mhm.
I don't want to turn 30 and not be married.
Yep.
I want to have kids. I had come out of HBCU grad. I'm a Black college queen. Hey, Folk Valley.
There it is.
And so as a Black college queen, you know, you're really celebrated. You're in magazines. And then after you finish your grad degree, the next step is to get married. If you're not getting married, if nobody wants to wife you, what's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like the next step. And he was a friend of mine and we were close. And it seemed like, well, if we're friends, and that means we'll do well in love.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, neither one of us knew well enough how to love ourselves.
That's right.
And we certainly couldn't love each other. We were great friends, terrible lovers.
Chew on that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Great friends,
Mhm.
terrible lovers.
Yes, because love is a sacrifice.
Mhm.
Eric, like,
Listen, while she was there, before she got there,
Mhm.
I was 3 months out from being married.
Mm-hmm.
And it tore itself apart.
That's right.
3 months.
gotcha. So you've been married twice? Is that
No.
what I'm understanding?
No, sir. No,
Okay,
sir.
I'm sorry.
This was before we actually went through with the wedding.
Oh, okay.
So
I got
it was
you.
3 months before we were actually supposed to get married. And we were in college at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And together for 4 years, we're growing together. We're doing all of these positive things. We're building this relationship. And the next best thing that everybody told us that we should do
Mm-hmm.
was be married. There's no way you can be with somebody for that long and then not be married.
Mhm.
What's the point? What's the purpose? You've been over there wasting your time and this man ain't put no ring on your finger. What's wrong with you, Erica?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for real though. So, like, that's a serious question though. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you were a man they say that a man knows
Yeah.
when he wants something.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm speaking general terms.
Yeah.
So, if you're with a man for 3 to 5 years,
Uh-huh.
like, and he doesn't propose to you, you don't feel a certain way as a lady?
That's a loaded question.
It is.
I mean, unpack it just a little bit.
I want you to go back though.
Yeah.
Because you said I'm speaking generally, but you don't have to because you're a man. Have you ever met a woman and been in a relationship with a woman and you were with her for a certain amount of time and you knew or you didn't know? You can speak from personal experience.
Oh man, here we go. All right, so yeah, I've been with somebody for 4 to 5 years, but I was 21 when I was with her, to 25, and she's a great person.
Mm-hmm.
We are better friends than we are lovers.
Mm-hmm.
But she's super dope. Was there for me because I was transitioning. I just had two babies.
Mhm.
I had my babies at 20 and 21.
All right.
She supported that, but I think it was too much
Mhm.
for a 19, 20-year-old to handle.
Right.
As I'm still trying to understand
And develop.
the mess that I just got myself into.
Mhm.
So I think that in between there, I was loyal, but there was insecurities because I had a lady with 2 kids that I had, and
Yeah.
therefore there was a lot of interaction,
Mhm.
things of that nature
Yeah.
that brought some insecurity to our relationship.
Yeah.
And then I didn't support her, and I wasn't considerate enough for her situation and her position. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
her position.
Mhm.
I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing as a father,
Mhm.
Right.
but I got a whole situation here. I got to nurture too. So it was
Mhm.
just, so I wasn't mature enough to really handle that situation at
Right.
that time.
Yeah. And from a female perspective,
Mhm.
it's like, and we've heard people say this, but it's so true. If a man is really into you, whether it's been 6 months, 3 years, 30 years,
Mhm.
you know it.
Mhm.
And if not, you're confused.
Mm-hmm.
And the true thing is that when you're in that confusion phase, if you would just decide,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not about to sit here in limbo
Mhm.
and move forward, you likely do both of you a favor.
Yes.
Because sometimes people think it's almost like a sunk cost in business, which is why I love this platform, because it's like
What's the sunk cost? Everybody listening may not understand the term.
Okay, so a sunk cost in business is when you've invested something in the past and it's not returning anything, but it's like, well, it's already gone. I can't get that money back.
Mhm.
So in relationship, which is why I love this whole romance and real estate vibe, it really applies that, well, I've spent so much time with him, so I need to make this work. Well, we've been together for 3 years, so we need to make this work. Well, we've been through so much, well, we need to make this work. That's a sunk cost.
Yes.
You can't get that time back. You can't undo those memories. Is it working for you now?
Mhm.
In the current season that you're in, are you being true to you? Yes or no? Like today,
Mhm.
like this moment. Tell me,
Mm.
is it working for you? Yes or no? Are you showing up as you? Are you being an imposter of the you that the person wants you to be?
Whew.
Yes or no. And if you're getting too many no's, then it's time to go. Not next week, not in February, but today.
But today.
Your
And
support system is real strong.
wait, let's be clear though. But let's be super clear. Because
Come on now.
first of all,
Tap in.
she gave facts. She
Without doubt.
gave pure facts. So can't nobody say anything about it because I'm agreeing with what's real. And if she's saying if not now, right? The mindset is if it's not going well right now, do I want to invest another 3 years of it not going right? Do I want to invest another 5 years? Do I want to invest another
Hold on.
3 months?
Everything's not always perfect. There's going to be ups and downs, though, right?
Yeah, but I didn't speak about perfection.
That's not what we said.
I spoke about you being you. You being authentic to you.
Okay.
Are you being true to you? Are you being an imposter or are you being you?
Mm.
None of that takes time to assess.
So how do you guys help women identify an imposter or if it's real or if it's fake?
Well, number one, stop telling a man what you want him to be and just see who he is. Observe.
Hey, shout out to the people in the back. If you didn't hear, man, shout out to everybody in the back.
Yes.
So yeah. Stop telling a man who you want him to be.
Correct. And we confuse that. We as in women, I'm going to go general for a second. When we don't really understand how to affirm a man, we think affirmation means telling him who we want him to be for us.
Yes.
That is not affirming that man.
Give me an example of what we think affirmation is and what it isn't. I hear you defining it, but give us an example.
So what you may hear a lot in society is, oh, you a boss. You got bars. Oh, you got stacks. We can do this. We can do that. I know you capable of doing this. I know you can buy us a house. You can run all of that. You can run a company, all of that. But that doesn't necessarily have to align with him. Those are the dreams you have for where y'all are going to go. That's the vision you want to be a part of. That's what you want him to do. Him as your project. But if we're just affirming him, then it's, baby, I love you for you.
That's it.
You strong. You got it. You were built for this. You were made for this. Notice I'm not saying anything specific now because it's all about him and what he really wants to do. Doesn't matter if he stays in the same career or if he switches careers. It doesn't matter if, he shows up the same for his family or if him and his family are falling out. You can get through this. I believe in you. And no matter what, I'm going to be right here in your corner. You always going to be great enough for me.
And let's be clear. Let's bring it back to you, Erick. No. We're going to make it real. We're going to make it real. We're going to make it real, right?
I'm down.
You just had 2 babies, right? I'm bringing you back.
I have 2 at that time. Yes.
I'm bringing you back.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right.
You just had 2 babies, right? So affirming the Erick then is not, I know you're going to be a great business owner. I know you're going to build this empire for yourself. And I know you're going to, that's your later. Your right now is, you may not be ready right now, but God saw something in you and he saw fit to make you a father.
Yes.
So whatever it is that God sees for you, I see that too. And I'm going to be by your side as you figure this father thing out. That's affirming you. That don't have nothing to do with who you going to be, where you going to go, what you going to build. That's Erick.
So what I hear you saying is that a lot of women fall for affirming as praising their potential.
We don't even phrase it like that. It almost made me itch when you said it. Right. When you said praising the potential, because we believe in the poison of potential. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, elaborate.
Of potential. Because no one woke up today wanting to be your project. Not now, nobody woke up wanting to be your project. So when you look at a man and you're like, I know he doesn't have this or that or this, but he has potential. Yeah. Girl, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Because if he doesn't rise to what you feel is his potential, then you're going to resent him. But he ain't never signed up for this class. This was not on his balance sheet.
Nope.
He was living his best life.
I don't think women take accountability for that right there all the time.
No, but that's what we call a thing a thing.
What do you say all the time? In most cases. Because if I ask a woman, why did you get with your partner?
Oh, Lord.
He was just so ambitious.
Yes.
So that has nothing to do with his person now. You got with him for his potential and you're setting yourself up and him, obviously, for failure.
Yes.
Because when he doesn't meet those requirements that you have preset in your mind, you're going to be upset with him. And then you're going to be upset with yourself because you've invested this time, you've invested this energy, you've invested your emotions, and now it's a sunk cost.
Come on now.
Now it's a sunk cost, right?
Yeah.
And so now you're taking it out on him.
Yes. You're not really even mad at him.
Mm-mm.
You mad at you.
Bruh.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, Mike, have you ever made these mistakes, man? Investing in some bad investments that are sunk costs?
No, I haven't actually.
Man,
He said
Mike's
he
something
can't help
else.
you.
I've only been in 2
Mike's engaged, by the way, y'all.
Okay,
He gets married this summer.
Congratulations.
So he can't say too much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're going to have a happy home. Happy spouse, happy house.
Yes, yes.
There it is. All right.
Yes.
So, man, let's go back. All right. So 11 years ago,
Yes.
What sparked? Meaning, like, you know, I understand the idea came about, you know, everything started. What sparked? You got your cohort. Like, but what sparked?
11 years ago, what sparked was that I'm just going to speak for me and my crew.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know how to speak to men in a loving manner.
Mm-hmm.
And we certainly didn't know how to speak to ourselves in a loving manner.
So,
So it all
let me
came from
elaborate my
communication.
question. Let me elaborate my question. How did you know that was it? That was the start of something?
That's what I'm saying. It came down to how we were talking at each other and not to each other. The whole empire that's known as Before Boaz and our whole Confident Ones community, it grew over time, but it all started and is rooted in communication. And it was the toxic communication habits that we had. So I grew up seeing couples regularly argue, fight, scream, and I thought that was normal. And so that was the spark, was realizing I actually met a couple, Brian and Gail, years ago, and they told me that they have disagreements, but they don't argue. And I was like, you a lie. Like, just immediately, I was like, cap, right? But they were like, no. And they softened their hearts towards me and allowed me to take trips with them, get to know them. And they shared their challenges with me. Like, they didn't hide their disagreements. And I was able to see how he was able to clearly communicate his needs. She was able to clearly communicate her needs. He was able to clearly communicate his needs. She was able to clearly communicate her needs. And then they were able to understand why they weren't fulfilling each other's needs and what the solution was. I had never seen individuals in love do that. I'd seen individuals in love criticize each other for not understanding each other's position or not agreeing. I didn't understand at the time that, well, before the 11 years ago, but what I saw was a major issue was instead of communicating, we're busy trying to persuade. Instead of communicating, we're busy trying to coerce. Instead of communicating, we're manipulating.
Yes.
So at the time when this was really birthed and it was just kind of still a side hustle, I was just helping women better communicate with their partners, but first with themselves.
We at church. Let's clap it up one time. We at church. Okay. All right.
Yes. Because what's one of the top issues in every relationship? Communication and finances.
And just speaking on communication, there was something that you said, Mike, right? That's
Yes.
Something you just said to Mike out loud. I don't think he caught it. You said happy spouse, happy house, right?
Yeah.
Notice she didn't say happy wife, happy life. Because that is the world's manipulation of men to say, do whatever she wants you to do at all costs to you.
Yes.
How is that being true to you?
That's terrible. And let me tell you why it's terrible. Because if you have needs, but the focus is on me, even weddings, how it's like, oh, well, this is your day. This is your day, right?
I've always looked at it like that. I told you I DJ for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of seen the gentleman actually say, hey, whatever she wants. Like, it's for her. It's, you know, but go ahead, continue.
But then you're not really intimately involved in it.
At all.
See, when you have a thing that you've helped to build, that you've been involved in, you have ownership in it.
Yes.
If somebody just does what they want and brings you in at the last minute, then you're just a guest at your own wedding.
At your own. So,
oh my God.
and in addition to that,
it happens
right?
daily, though.
It does.
It does.
But think about this, right? We are setting a date and we're saying this is the day that we are going to start walking up underneath covenant with God in unison as one.
For life.
But I had no say-so in the process that it took for us to get to this day. So how invested are you in, one, the day, and two, in protecting and preserving what it is that you guys have already established?
Yes.
You protect what you value.
Facts.
Are you going to value something that you were never a part of? Like, and it's yours.
Yeah.
Your name is on it.
Yeah.
So if I go out right now and I say, by Erick, for Erick, it is Erick, and you ain't never seen it, you like, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research before I jump on board because I need to be involved.
Yeah. Tag team. Boom. You the free rental property guy, right?
Yes.
Right.
Let's take it to a property real quick. Okay.
Let's do it.
So if you're buying your forever home,
Mm-hmm.
do you have to see it? Do you need to do a walkthrough?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to see the tile?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about the cabinets? You want soft close? What you want? What type of refrigerator do you want? Don't you need to pick the appliances?
Yes.
Because that's your house.
Right.
That's your kingdom.
Right.
That's your compound. That's where you're going to be. Right?
Understood.
But that's just a house.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 30 years. That's just here. We talking about forever. When you get forever. So this is celebrating your forever union with the woman, the last woman you ever gonna have any sex with.
Yep.
Right? This is my queen. I finally found her. This is the rib that was taken from me. We are celebrating us finding each other in this space.
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't got nothing to do with the details of this celebration.
Mm.
So you more invested in picking a house than celebrating your spouse.
Ooh.
Trash.
Woo, we at church. We at church.
Trash.
I like it. Y'all about to smoke.
Trash.
I want to know what the comments gonna be like right now. Make sure we cut that part. Wow. Okay. So, let's talk about, you guys moving forward with the business. We understood what sparked it. Now, like, you're starting to help people out in their situation.
Absolutely.
But before, you had to help yourself.
Correct.
So what did you do to empower yourself to be prepare yourself to be in a position you are today?
Let's be very clear. First of all, I had to get comfortable being by myself and enjoy myself by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what we do now in our whole Empire with Before Boaz, our number one mission is to help women do exactly what we had to do, which is know and love yourself before you love anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it is before Boaz.
All right, for those who don't know who Boaz is, could you elaborate on that?
Yes. You want to tell me about
Boaz is a young man in the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
and he owned lots of fields, and he was very well off. He was very rich. But even before we get to him, there was a young lady, and she had just lost her husband, and her mother-in-law, she took her from the country that they had just lost. She lost both of her sons, and she lost her husband, her mother-in-law, and she took them from their country. And normally in that day, a woman without a husband, you pretty much worthless. So when those things happen, what you do is you return to the land in which you came from with your father, and he will provide that covering for you. She didn't do that. She said, I'm going to stay with you. She told her mother-in-law, I'm going to stay with you, and I'm going to make sure that I put myself in a position so that I can be what we need for each other.
Yes.
So she went to this field, and in this field, they would pick grain, right? And that was the work for the day. She said, let me go behind you and just pick whatever you left off, whatever was left over, so that I can earn some money, so that I can provide for me and my mother-in-law. That was Boaz's field. She didn't know that. All she was doing was what she was led to do, one by God, and what was right. So even before she knew who he was, even before she understood what he had in his pocket, she was trying to do what she knew was right. And she wanted to make sure that she was walking in alignment with what God had for her life.
Yes.
When she got into that field and she started to glean, that's what it's called. It's called gleaning. When she started to glean, then Boaz noticed her and understood her story. Okay, isn't that Naomi's daughter? Didn't she just lose her husband? Why hasn't she returned back to her home? So he's taken into account that she is selfless in her actions.
And loyal.
She's loyal, she's selfless, and she's walking in love for somebody who she doesn't even have to with, because now that bond is broken. Legally, she can go back to her house. And he was like, I want that.
And so he showed compassion. He didn't just rip her about the field. He told his servants, leave a little bit more so she has more to glean. And he continued to watch her and see her person and recognized in her what he had been looking for and missing for himself. And so as the story ends, they get together and Ruth is able to get up out them fields, and she was found by and almost saved by her Boaz.
And found actually,
Found.
we really say it's really found. She wasn't checking for him.
Mm-mm.
She wasn't scrolling for him.
Right.
She wasn't texting for him.
Didn't twerk for
He looked for her.
Yes.
She didn't bend it over, not net. She was focused.
Yes.
She was focused on doing what it is that she needed to do for herself.
Mm-hmm.
And he noticed how comfortable she was with doing for herself.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, if you that comfortable by yourself,
Listen.
oh baby, I need you over here.
Mhm.
I need you. And this is the thing. He was a well-off man.
Yeah.
He could have had anybody.
He had a lot being thrown at him.
But he chose a woman who decided to glean for herself and for the betterment of her mother-in-law. And she did not have to.
Gotcha.
So the way you see this watered down and social is, well, I'm just looking for my Boaz. I'm just looking for my Boaz, right? And a lot of men who have it together, like, well, you looking for Boaz, but if you ain't doing nothing with you, don't nobody want your ass. Don't nobody want you. Don't nobody want you. So we're like, before Boaz, let me help you understand why you're not even in a position, you don't have the capacity
Right.
to love that man the way he deserves to be loved, because you have not proven and done to yourself the same. You don't love you. You don't know you.
That's it.
So it's hard to love what you don't know. You're not even really in relationship with you. Quite frankly, you silence you at every turn if the people around you aren't comfortable with the you that you would be. So really, you don't know you. Your representative is living your whole life. And she needs to be sent on vacation so that you can actually live before you die. And then when you actually live and your actual light within you is shining bright, then maybe Boaz will recognize your ass. But until then, you keep attracting Jimmy, John, Dick, and Harry and wondering why you feel like all men are dogs. But that's not even it. And I know we're going to talk about that later,
Yeah,
but that's not even it.
Erica told me why they be
No.
attracted dogs.
We're not even gonna go into that.
not going there.
We're not even going. You tried it though. You tried it.
Come
You
back to
tried
that.
it.
But the truth of the matter is, what we had to do and what we help women do is know and love themselves. We hear self-love is the best love. Self-love is the best love. But often when ladies are referring to self-love, they're actually speaking about self-care. They're talking about getting their nails done, getting a massage, vacation. That is self-care. And that's important, but it's only one of 7 segments of self-love. There are 7 segments of self-love.
So what did you do to get in a relationship with yourself?
Yes. So again, had to be by myself.
Right.
And had to find the joy in being by myself. Because at first is, hey, I need to call somebody. I need to get with somebody. I need to do this. And so one of the major tenets for me was solo travel, which a very close friend of mine, Sierra, does it. And she's actually a travel advisor and a coach now to help women do this, because there's a lot of fear that's put into women about solo travel. But the truth of the matter is, if you can go to a city you've never been and not have your agenda rule by other people around you, about what they want to eat and where they want to go, then you realize you're not bound by your work schedule or anything else. What am I going to do today? It's on you. And what you would naturally gravitate towards helps you understand what you actually are interested in and what you like. What restaurant would you choose? You don't have to negotiate with anybody else. What do you want to eat today? What is your vibe? What hotel fits with you? What is it? When you find out more things about yourself just in solo travel, you can learn more about yourself in 48 hours than you could probably learn about yourself in 4 years.
Right there. That's it.
Have you done solo travel?
Listen, you have to.
Okay.
You have to. And it's not just solo travel. I dated me.
Come through.
Okay.
And this is the thing. When we are so focused in relationship, and it doesn't matter what type of relationship, we can be talking about friendship, right? When we're so focused on what the other person wants, we never listen to the voice inside of us that's like, I don't really care for that like that. But it's not until you take a step back and you get with yourself. But we never take time to be with ourselves, because the world tells us that you being by yourself and not having somebody there to love you somehow is convincing you that you are unlovable.
Right.
But
I have to.
What?
Kevin Samuel said the other day, he said,
here you go with the shenanigans.
hey man, and he said, if you was 35, you was leftover. But she could be, in a relationship with herself, right? Now that y'all say that, but I was like, ooh, this topic for us. We're going to talk about that later. I got to come back though.
Shots fired.
I got to come back though.
Come on.
You said there were 7 steps.
7 segments of self-love. That's correct.
Could you just, briefly elaborate on some of those steps?
Yes, for example, the first segment is self-awareness. The average woman on the range of 0 to 100 is like at 20 of being self-aware. Of
20 out of 100?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh.
Even if I ask, shout out to all the ladies in Before Boaz, give me 3 words to describe you. We do this exercise with our ladies. The 3 words they use, we go around the room and be like, would anybody have used that word to describe her? No. You don't even know how to describe you. So then when you get on a date with that man and he's like, hey, tell me about yourself. You go into what you do. You go into your roles, maybe whether or not you have kids. He didn't ask you what you do. He asked you to tell him about you, but you can't answer that question.
Tough.
Self-aware. So that's the first segment. Second segment is self-exploration. Again, that's linked highly to solo travel and exploring yourself, getting to really understand, okay, I thought this about myself. Who told me that? Where'd I get that from? Where'd I get that from? Like, for example, I mean, heavy topic, but let's go into it. In the Black community, colorism, right? So whether a woman is dark-skinned or whether a woman is light-skinned, and what do you believe about you based upon your skin tone? Who told you that? Where'd that come from? What's that rooted in? How are you moving because of that? How are you dressing because of that?
Yep.
What are you accepting because of that? Because in some areas, if you're darker skinned, then you a baddie. In other areas, it's if you light skinned, if you red bone, you a baddie. And then you have our musicians, our rappers who talk about being a red. I only want this and I only want that. Or do you have a big ass? Does your booty big? Because if you don't have a big booty, then maybe you ain't worth nothing. If you don't got big titties, then you ain't worth nothing. Like, it's all these physical attributes. And depending upon how many you feel you have, that impacts what you assign as your self-worth. So you have to explore the roots of these things. But you have to first be honest with yourself about what you believe about yourself. So once you go through self-awareness and figure out what it is you do believe about yourself and who you really are, then you go into self-exploration and you get deeper and you start to really say, okay, I see where this is coming from. I see where this is coming from. And then when you understand that a little bit more, then we go into self-kindness.
Ooh, that's my favorite.
Because now you found you, and now I need you to be kind to you. I need you to treat you tenderly.
So what do you mean by be kind to yourself? You mean an example of being kind to yourself, Erica?
Well, first and foremost, like we said, are you showing up as you? You think about yourself and how you show up for other people because it's beneficial to them. So if I continue to put myself in spaces where I know I can't authentically be myself, how is that being kind to me? Because now I got to water me down to make you feel comfortable.
Got it.
Consistently. So now in my mind, it's okay. I'm pacifying me. It's okay, Erica, to not be you. It's okay to not be loud. It's okay to dumb down how you dress a little bit. It's okay for your nails to not be extra because they don't really like that.
Right.
So I'm making it okay to be in spaces where people don't really like me for me. So now I don't really like me like that. I like, or I've come to like who people like, and that's what I show them. I'm not being kind to myself in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
So you threw away your 6-inch voice, huh?
Ooh. Listen, I'm sorry.
I'm teasing.
But that's real though.
I'm teasing.
Hey, remember, it's better for a woman to be seen and not heard.
Come on.
I'm loud. I'm always going to be loud. And I can't turn this down. It's not a light switch and I can't turn it off. But I had to learn that for myself. And if you're not comfortable, guess what I learned?
I'm listening.
I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And I'm okay with that.
Fair.
I'm okay with that, right? But the one thing that you will respect is I'm going to be me around you, your mama, your business partner, your dog, your auntie, and your child. Y'all all gonna get the same version of who I am because I'm not going to pull that back to make you feel better about being in my presence.
Fair.
Because when you do, when you pull that back regularly, we were just talking about this earlier, you start to feel like you losing space, like you're in a cage.
You are.
You're restricting yourself. And you're only showing up as who the people want to see. And we say, I can't have people like that around me. That's the wrong energy. Because the people around you, they can either be your circle or
they
your
can
cage.
be your cage.
Facts.
What are they going to be? Right? So what we don't understand is that is not kind to you when you allow yourself to continue to deposit your energy into people who don't actually value the you that you are. And I want to take it a step further. The number one thing that when ladies come to us, they are seen to all be doing is depositing so much of themselves into others
Whew.
and saving not now, nothing, zero for themselves.
Yep.
It's the expectation of reciprocity. And nobody said that that's coming. So if I give and 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 I give, if you some type of dude, eventually you gonna give back. But no, if he's a taker, you gonna give, and he gonna take. And I don't see what the problem is, because why did you start like that if you didn't want to finish? So it's this silent expectation that, well, eventually he, she, they are going to recognize that I have needs too. So number one, our clients who powerful women in business, killing it. Okay. Medical assistants, CEOs, physicians, doctors, entertainers, our clients are killing it. Professional success, but a personal mess, because they feel like in their circles, they're the ones that everyone comes to.
Yep.
Everyone calls them for help. Everyone reaches out to them.
Leeching.
But no one checks up on them. And I said, why would they? You're the source.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy that you say that. I told Mike about a week ago. I was like, so I got a boat. And you know, so I just go to the lake, you know, it's nice houses, and we do our cigars and our, you know, our whiskey, and we fellowship. Sometimes we bring our lady friends and we party, but it's just a social, right?
Right.
And so last year, you know, I told you last year was tough for me.
Yeah.
So I actually was out there just a little bit less, but just on some being kind to me and
Yeah.
That's my travel. I wasn't out the country or nothing, but I was just doing
you got
me.
the boat, so
and
you
that's
got
what I
on
was
the boat.
doing. That was me. That was my me time, right?
That's it.
But then, you know, there was a few times where my homies came out. You know, I mean, I hit the homies up like, man, pull up.
Yeah.
And then I was at a dinner and a guy came to me and was like, yo, bro. He's a DJ. And during the pandemic, I was like, bro, let me borrow some of your needles or whatever. I'm gonna just mess around when I get bored.
Yeah.
He gave it to me, and then I returned it later. But later he was just like, I was at a party and he literally was belligerent. It kind of came to me, and I was in a great mood, so I didn't even react. Ooh, I was growing. So he was just like, yo, bro, man, it's messed up how you don't ever let me, you invite the boy to the boat. Da-da-da-da-da. Man, you know, I let you borrow this, and you know what I'm saying? And you ain't no invite. You know what I'm saying? Like, I let him talk.
Right.
And then my dude was like, you about to spaz, Eric. I said, I understand. And so like he was just going in 10 minutes.
Wow.
I seen him at dinner 2 weeks later. And I was like, hey, bro, since you sober, can we talk? And I literally was like, hey, pull out your phone for me. And I was like, when's the last time you searched for my number to invite me to any gig that you DJ or any party that you were throwing, and just, you know, was like, yo, come out. It's going to be a good time. And he was just like, it's been over 5-6 years. I was like, understand this. I have no hard feelings towards that.
Right.
When I wanted to borrow something, you allowed me. And if you needed some DJ equipment that I might have sitting because I ain't DJing, you're welcome to it too. You know what I mean? I understand you're in a time of need. So I was like, helping me in a time of need and me helping you, that's not a problem. We're good there. But I was just like, but you know, the boat kind of, it's like my space.
It's intimate.
Yeah. And when you do certain parties that are super dope for certain guests, and you never think of me, you don't call me. I'm not heartbroken, but make sure that you treat me accordingly to the way you want to be treated.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, no exaggeration. He was at one of my good buddies' houses. Good buddies. A guy that be on a boat. And then he hits me up on Instagram, was like, yo, my guys, our guys cooking, come through. So I hit the like button, but you know what I'm saying? But I had to, I was busy, but I still wouldn't have went because my guy didn't invite me to his house.
Right.
And you're just trying to get a ticket to the boat. You know what I'm saying?
But you saw it for what it was.
Peep game.
Yeah. So like I said, he's not a bad guy, but I could identify with it on the level of a friendship. You can still identify that type of stuff.
Right. Yeah. You got to see that behavior for what it is.
Got you. So let's go to the next step. What's the next step?
Well, where are we with self-kindness and not depositing, making sure your cup is filled. So then after that, we got to go to self-care. Because you are being kind to yourself, and we do want you to care for yourself. So self-care is a segment of self-love. I'm not trying to say it's not important. You know, women, we want to get our nails done, hair done, everything did. Okay? Like, get on the boat, do whatever you're going to do. Just understand there's something behind that.
Bruh, this like Destiny's Child. They on beat. I'm so sorry, but keep going.
But do you know why, though?
I'm listening.
Because this is just who we are.
It's just who we are.
I ain't
We've always
knocking
been
it.
this
I'm
way.
enjoying it. Actually, I'm enjoying
but
it.
But let that be a lesson. That's the nugget right there.
Mm.
When you truly find people that vibrate in the same energy as you, y'all have the same outlook. Y'all like, okay, cool. Y'all not being each other. Erica is Erica, and Shanoria is Shanoria. But we can be ourselves, and then it's just a vibe.
No
it
doubt.
just flows.
It's liquid.
We don't have to force it.
I can dig it.
And so the more you experience that in friendships with your family, then you recognize that vibe. And then when you're considering someone to be your mate, you'll either know either it is
or
it
it's
ain't.
not.
It don't take 10, 3, 8 years to figure it out. You know if it feels forced. You know in the middle of the night if you're looking at that person like, I am tired of you.
You ain't got nowhere to go.
But many stay for the material and or the lifestyle.
Okay, well, if you want to prostitute yourself for a lifestyle.
Right. Listen,
But
we not in the business of hoeing. We got out of hoeing a long time ago.
No hotels around here. Okay? We good on that.
And
Oh my God.
I'm not saying that to be funny. This is the conversations that we have with our clients.
Ain't nothing wrong with
you
it.
Want to hoe? Then hoe. But if you want to grow, then come over here. We can get you right.
Yeah, and in the spirit of romance and real estate, mixing all of this with the business, right? It's no different for your career. Because we assist our clients with career choices as well. If you continue to show up every day to a position that you detest, you hate it. There's so many microaggressions. The whole time you see the reels where you're in the car like, oh my God, I gotta go. And it's, hi, I'm Becky. Hi, what are we doing on chart 6? Like that is not being kind to you. Now you can't show up in your own workplace. How many hours do you have to spend there? Right? So even with your career, if you don't allow yourself to understand where you are valued, where you're going to be able to thrive, where you're going to be able to be you, then you're going to force yourself, teach yourself to regularly endure something that you hate. That's terrible.
And they say that, what I was going to say is they say that 90% of America hates their job.
Why do you think we have so many unhappy people around here? Like mental health, we're having these conversations, right? But for years, it was difficult for it to be even socially accepted to say, hey, I'm going to talk to my counselor, or hey, I'm going to talk to my coach. And that be just like, hey, I'm finna go to Starbucks, right?
Yeah, I did that the other day.
That is. Like we building around here. We got to make sure that we are depositing into us and we keep that third party perspective because, hey, even as Markwell says, right? It's hard to see the picture when you're the frame.
Yep.
You need someone else.
Yep.
Big up to the mentor.
CAU for life. So it's hard to see that. So we have to do that in our relationships.
Yes.
We have to allow ourselves to do that in our careers. Because if we continue to prostitute ourselves for a check,
yes,
then that will fold over into prostituting yourself for a house or for a family photo at Christmas or whatever the case may be. It's all the same.
And I want to be clear as to what we're not saying, right? We are all adults. We have different seasons. So in that season, get what you need to get. And then when it has expired, that is where that's kind of where we miss. That's where we go left.
Hire slow, fire fast.
Come on.
We don't know when something has expired. We don't know when relationships expire. We don't know when job opportunities expire. So that we stay in places too long. And then it's like, okay, I feel like I was thriving. I feel like I was moving. I feel like I was going. And now I feel like I'm miserable. I feel like this is the end because it has expired. Yeah. Okay, so you don't eat. When you open up your refrigerator, right? And you pick something up, what are you going to check? The expiration date. Because at one point it was good.
Right.
It was nourishment to you.
Yes.
But then later on, you pick it up, it expires. If you decide to eat it or consume it anyway, what are you doing?
Getting sick.
You are allowing something to bring you backwards, right? And it's going to be a detriment maybe to you inwardly. It may cause you sickness. Something may grow inside. You don't know what is going to happen, but we do the same thing in relationships. And then those things become cancerous to us. And we don't understand why we're not growing. And Shanoria says this all the time. Fruit eaten out of its season will kill you. It will kill you. So what do you think a relationship will do to you? What do you think being in a space that you are killing it in the game in one season, and then in another season you like, I like it, like it's okay, I'm still doing good, but it's not driving me. Right. It ain't my passion. So now you gonna kill your passion for some checks.
Yeah.
What's the next step, bro? Ooh, it's heavy. We at church.
So where were we? But self-care?
No, self-care.
Okay. So then I think next we go to self-forgiveness.
We don't talk about that.
Tell me about a situation where you have to forgive yourself.
Oh Lord.
Which one you want?
Just give us one.
Honestly, I had to forgive myself for all the places that I wasn't, that I put these expectations, like once you get a certain age, you have to be here. You need to be here. You need in my relationship. I should be married by now. I should.
Oh.
That's a word we don't use. But
why you don't use it?
Can you tell me a single time when you use the word should that you're not passing judgment
on you or somebody else?
Remember, this all started from communication. Just that one word. Just that one word. If you kill it in your relationship, you will see progress. Because every time, well, you should do this. Well, you should have known.
I should have known.
I should have known.
How could I have been so stupid? I should have not been there. Judgment.
You're not helping yourself.
And how, who are you helping by passing judgment on you or the other person? Because then the walls of defense go up. You don't even know that you put up walls of defense for yourself. So then even when you try to make progress and then you start shooting yourself, then you like, you know what? Forget it. Don't even worry about it. I'm just going to do something different. So now you can't move forward because you are your own worst enemy.
Shackles.
Got it. What's the next step? Ooh, this heavy. It's heavy.
Where are we?
What is the self-forgiveness? We did self-forgiveness.
We did. We said self-awareness, self-exploration, self-kindness, self-care, self-forgiveness. I know one. Self-growth.
Self-growth.
Okay.
Self-growth. Because sometimes we feel like we need to apologize for not being the person we used to be.
But we grow. Like we shouldn't be the same person we once were.
We would.
Right?
But we grow. But we feel guilty about our growth.
You said
because what happens when you outgrow the people around you?
I don't feel guilty. I told you, like you try to buy tickets to the boat.
But I'm just saying. But you know what that is? That's a pruning season. That's also a period of growth. A pruning season of understanding. Just as she said, there was a season. There's an expiration, and we all know that some people are with you for a reason. Some people are with you for a season. Some people are with you for a lifetime. But if it's somebody that you've been with, like y'all was riding and dying, y'all was riding. Every time you ride, you done died. Every time you ride, you done died. Okay.
I'm dead, man.
But
every time you done ride, you done died.
And so
I didn't fell out my seat on that one, man. Hold on, I'm so sorry. I wasn't ready for that.
True though. So when you start limiting your growth because you're trying to bring someone with you that is not ready to go where you're going. And back to the fruit. Trying to bring people into a season they're not ready for, that's damaging in so many ways. They're not ready for it. Think about many who have overdosed because they couldn't handle that level of the drug, right?
Yep.
You might be able to do that much, but I just can't. Yep. But I'm trying to keep up with you. So no longer, it's not good for you because you feel like you're carrying a weight, right? For someone who's not ready to go. Now, we believe you lift as you climb. So if there's people around you, let's grow together. But if there's people who's like, no, I'm literally good. Right? Leave me alone. It's not good for you to feel like you're pulling dead weight. And it's not good to them to expose them to something they're not ready for. Fruit out of season will kill you. You need to be in your season. And if there are those around you who either just are takers, they're absorbing your energy, they want you to continue to serve from a deficit, then they don't need to go with you in the future. So self-growth says, I'm going to focus, yes, on my vision board. It looks good on the wall, but who's not going into that vision with me? It's a pruning season. And I make that a regular habit. When women buy flowers or someone gives us flowers, we understand that everything that came in that bunch doesn't go in the pot.
Right.
You got to trim the bottom and you also have to prune some of your fine flowers. Why? Because some of this can't go. And so we prune so that you can see the beauty. So it's a pruning season in self-growth. And it's a forgiveness of not being where you were before. And it's okay. It's okay if you came from the bottom, but now you're here. You don't have to apologize for being here. Some people, when they get to a certain level of wealth, it's like they feel bad because they're not struggling no more.
Right.
But I done it all. I'm done with that. Like somebody else is gonna play that role for today. I'm finna go over here and live in luxury. Okay, you know what I'm talking about? Let's boat parties. You know what I'm talking about? Like this is the vibe because I did that. I worked through that. So it seems like on a high level self-growth, that's not a big deal. You wouldn't believe how much inner conflict and guilt hides in so many women who feel like they need to apologize for where they are no longer. And then we're gonna wrap up with one of my favorites, which is self-respect. Self-respect. The two most of our clients tell us they don't need help with is kindness
And self-respect. We say
What kind of resistance do you get?
it's not so much resistance. It's just they think more of themselves as they ought.
Yeah.
So I say, where are you? Scale of 1 to 10. Self-respect. Girl, I'm a strong 9. I'm a strong 9. I'm telling you, I respect myself. If I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna respect me. Okay, let's stay right there at that strong 9.
So you said you've been with this guy for how long? Well, we've been together for 8 years. Okay, and he cheated on you how many times? Well, he cheated on me a few times, but I caught him in the bed with my best friend's sister like 2 weeks ago. Who you said you respect?
We not lying. We not making this up.
I'm not talking about you, boo. It just came from the mind. Forgive me. Who you said you respect? Who? Respect where? No.
Where?
No. And look, you a man, Mike. I'm just being honest. Men only do what you allow.
That's it.
That's fine.
And let's go further than that. We're not even talking about men. People.
Only do what you allow.
I'm going to teach you how to treat me. Everybody in this room, I'm going to teach you how to treat me.
Right.
And whatever you do that I allow you to do, that's where you get your cues from.
That's right.
If you walk in and be like, "What's up, bitch?" And I'll be like,
Hey, I would never say that.
No. I'm not saying that you would. I'm just saying, if something came out of your mouth that was undesirable for the way that I wanted to be addressed, and I didn't say, okay, so guess what? Okay, bring it back. I don't like the word shawty. Don't call me shawty. I don't like it. So if you be like, shawty, please don't call me that.
Yeah.
Respectfully, because that's how I would like to be addressed, or that's not how I wish to be addressed. And I'm going to teach you how to interact with me so that we can have the best relationship possible. If I don't do that and I let you do whatever it is you want to do, you're going to be walking around in la la land. I'm going to be miserable being around you.
Yeah.
How is that respecting me?
It's not. And you teach people how to treat you based on how you treat yourself. So if you're not treating yourself well, people around you don't think that is what is required. And let's be clear, when we go out to eat, when we go purchase anything, we don't look at the price and then be like, okay, let me just add like double that, right? We may tip, maybe, depends on if you know the history, then you might not even partake in that. But I'm not going to say, oh, this Tesla is $80K. Let me go and give them a cool 100. I'm going to give them $100 for the same car. You don't do that. And likewise, men don't give you more respect than you require. If I can call you a bitch, you's a bitch to me.
That's it.
But that same dude, no, he can't call another chick a bitch. It's about you. I know the type of music we listen to.
YouTube has deemed this video 18 and up.
Okay, my bad. Look, blurt it out. Like,
I'm just telling you.
blurt it out. But the truth of the matter is, the truth of the matter is, if that's what you allow, right, then that's what will continue.
Yes.
Fair enough. Now,
those are the 7 segments.
Hey, let's snap it up. We was at church.
The doors of the church are now open.
All right. So when you get, the process for your clientele,
yes,
they come in. Typically, what type of person comes to you guys for help?
Professional success, but a personal mess. On paper, she looks great. She's accomplished a lot. She's ordinarily independent, meaning she's not depending on anyone else to finance her life.
But we need to talk about that. Write that down. Independent women.
Independent.
Subject of matter. Okay.
Yes, but she's not satisfied because she's done everything that she's been told she should do. Hadn't done very much she actually wanted to do. Doesn't really feel like she's living, just existing.
Understood.
That's our client.
Got you. What's your goal for your client?
To truly know and love self. I know it sounds simplistic. Before you love anyone else, because when we continue to allow our representatives to live our lives.
Tell them what a representative is.
The representative being that acceptable person that everyone else around me wants me to be.
Mike has called me and be like, man, a bunch of people hate you. So I'm doing okay.
You're doing all right.
A little bit. And I'd be like, I know. But if I call them, they pick up the phone. No, so it don't matter.
That is. You good, man.
Did I not say that, Mike?
When you allow your representative to live your life, not only can it lead to dissatisfaction, it can lead to depression. Because the people around you that you thought knew you best and would be there for you and would help you, they don't even know that you have a problem because on the surface, it looks like everything is good. And again, you're the person everyone comes to. Beyond depression, it can lead to serious suicidal thoughts.
Yes.
It can lead to, well, I'm doing all of this. I got this. I thought when I got this, it was going to be good. I thought when I bought my house, it was going to be good. I thought when I went to Dubai, it was going to be good. I thought if he wanted to choose me, slept with me, and I was on his arm, it was going to be good. But I got all this stuff and I'm still not good. So it ain't nothing going to help. And then you feel hopeless. So at the end of our experience, and people say, well, am I going to get a man? Am I going to get a man? The truth is most of our clients, they do attract a better caliber of man, but that was never the focal point.
Never.
That's just an extra added bonus. The focal point is let's get you together. It just so happens that men like confident, bad women. Like you get your body together, you and your fitness, you feeling good, you smelling good, you doing good, you cooking good, you living good. Why wouldn't I want you around me?
Wow.
Your light is shining. I see you for who you are. I'm surrounded by faith. As you said, you're a powerful man, right? You make moves. So you surrounded by people who may not tell you the truth. You get you a baddie on your side who knows who she is. She ain't apologizing for it. And she ain't got no problem telling you the real and the fake. If you bring something she don't like it, she like, that was trash. I still love you still, but that steak was nasty. That wasn't good.
She said, trash, I'm changing the code on the door.
I'm just saying, but you gotta be able to deal with that.
I'm
Don't even do it like that.
I'm teasing.
But that's the truth. That's the truth. Is that when you really level up in self-love, in the real segments of self-love, it permeates every area of your life, your career, your family, because all your relatives ain't family.
Thank you. And even when she says it permeates, let's be clear. A lot of the things that women consider to be burdens in relationship, it's only a burden because you were never comfortable with doing it with you.
Right.
Right?
Placing their fears on you.
So, and I'm gonna give a light example because we was trying to keep it PG-13, but we didn't.
Oh, you good? No, you good. You good. It's already deemed 18 and over. It's okay.
We are where we are.
Look, in a light example, okay. Oh goodness. I hate coming in this kitchen, right? I hate cooking. But you know you got to eat, right? Like I know that I have to eat. So if I'm just getting in, and I'm not saying every woman's going to love cooking. What I am saying, you have to live and you need sustenance to live.
Correct.
So when I put in my mind that I'm not going into the kitchen to cook for you, I know that I need to make sure that by myself, I cook every day because I have to eat. Or I have come up with a method to make sure that I have meals delivered to my house. Whatever the regimen is, it's no longer a burden when I get a relationship because I know I need to eat. And because he's already there, you are going to benefit from me having to feed myself.
Different mindset.
So you're giving from your overflow, your abundance. It's not a burden. I was already moving like this.
Already.
And you don't, you don't rely on a man to expose you to all these places. No, baby, I was already going there. I just wanted to see if you like this dish. They know me here. I'm a regular. That's my booth right there. You like this too? I'm not with you just for your money, but I'm glad we can build wealth together.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
So that's really more of the vibe of our clients is wanting to transform, wanting to share the innermost parts of themselves with someone who would value it and can do the same.
And not because they have to.
But because they choose to. Living a life they choose to live. So the top transformation is they know themselves. And because they know themselves, clearly, they can identify very swiftly with a man, whether he's the one from whom I came or he's not. That's the number one issue most women that are dating have. They don't know how to qualify these men. And we're going to come back to that later too, Mike.
Yes.
They don't know how to qualify these men. And so you're sitting here
and you got one for the man too, though? Like so we can do that?
Yeah.
So we can qualify too. You know what I'm saying?
It really, let's be clear. All the time we are asked, do you work with men? And that is just not our calling. But it doesn't mean that a lot of what we do don't apply.
Right.
It applies to the man. The more the man settles in himself, is comfortable with himself, secure in himself, knows himself, then he can look at a woman and say, did she come for me?
That's it. Did
she come for me?
You're only looking for you, my love. You're only looking for you. Now, let's be clear. We want you to look for the right version of you. Because
not the broken you.
No, because then you gonna attract
the broken you.
The broken you.
And if you want to stop attracting, let's flip, women who are using you, manipulating you, coercing you, if you want to stop attracting women who are only with you for your money, then you have to heal from the situations that have you moving in that spirit, moving in that energy and giving off that vibe. If you want to stop attracting sharks, you have to stop bleeding first. Period. Most of us don't want to stop bleeding. And earlier you mentioned someone who has their own platform bleeding all over the world for anybody to see because pain is just coming out. That's why there's all these ludicrous statements that are coming out that can't be backed up. You can quote statistics all day long, but let's be very clear. I want to be very clear about this. Love is way more than duty, honor, and respect. One of the things that's missing from love in this definition is the fact that, hey, I'm removing God. I'm removing God. God is love.
Period.
So when we say, well, marriage is just duty, honor, and respect, and there's no mention of love, so then you want a marriage without God.
Yes.
That might be why your marriage is not working. Because what are you actually doing then? Who are you? These vows, we just saying this to each other? Well, then who? There's no 3 strands in your cord. So then what we doing? We was dating and now we just gonna permanently date and then we just gonna live together. But what happens when I don't like you? Because I don't like my husband every day. He don't like me every day.
Facts.
Hey, bro, ain't got nothing to do with this.
Listen, no, these are facts. This is real life. Honestly, it's that element that's breaking up home.
Yeah.
You need to talk about this.
Yes.
Stop acting like marriage is a perfect stare. Stop acting like y'all just so in love every day. I know people love to do the reels and, oh, we love each other. We're doing this, we're doing that. But a lot of that is toxic.
Yeah.
Because that ain't real life. We don't do that every day.
It's unrealistic.
There are days when we don't want to talk to each other. I am upset with you and I have to figure out how to regulate my emotions and get down underneath the 6 layers of emotions come through, okay? So I can get to my needs and actually express them. Because without expressed needs, then you can't meet them. You're trying to read my mind and then I'm angry when you get it wrong. And half the time I didn't know what it was in the first place. So when we say that marriage is just duty, honor, and respect, and we remove love, we remove God. And if you got a problem with me saying that marriage requires God, then please don't go to getandstaymarried.com because we ain't got nothing for you. But if you know that you want God to continue to be the head of your house and you want to be able to submit to your husband, there's another topic that I'm sure you want to hit.
Course.
Knowing that your husband is submitting to God, then this is where you need to be. Period.
Whoa! Let's stop it up for the church.
The doors of the church are open.
All right. So before I cut out,
Yes.
man, what is your relationship with real estate? You know what I mean? Do you own a home? Have you ever invested?
Yes.
Have you ever tapped into that side of life? You know what I'm saying? Well, we gotta calm it down because when she said that other man, her energy, he does saying, well, she need an attitude check. She had bad attitude about
Get some
that.
tea. I'm gonna go sip tea.
But yeah.
We don't
What's your
wanna
relationship with
invest
real estate? Have you guys ever invested?
Yes, I'm actually a licensed realtor. I'm still
Man,
a licensed
there it
realtor.
is. I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that about you.
Yes.
What city?
I'm still a licensed realtor in Atlanta, Keller Williams South.
Got you.
So, and do own multiple properties. Had a property on my own before I was married. And now my husband and I have multiple properties. We actually have a real estate investment company, Black Wall Street Revival, which if you know about Black Wall Street, you know what we just said. And so we're all about that. So I believe the synergy between romance and real estate is just perfect.
Dope. What about you, Erica?
And let's be clear. I'm over here. Y'all think it's a game. I'm taking notes. I'm like, okay, Shanoria, what I need to do next? What I gotta do next? Because this is the thing. If I understand that somebody else has these keys to unlock these doors that I can walk through, there is no shame in me saying, let me lean on you or let me get into this space with you, because that's kind of what we shy away from as people of color. We won't come into these spaces and say, bro, I need help with this because I want to level up in this area.
Competition.
Absolutely.
And we're not in competition with each other. So if she can lean over and be like, girl, don't do it like that.
Girl, because she had to pin my curl just a couple hours ago. Listen, come through. Yes.
No, that's what's up.
I'm definitely venturing into, and I want to do it a very strategic way because, like we say, if you don't have no strategy, then what exactly are you doing?
Got you.
So she's helping me a lot with strategy to move forward in that arena.
But you might need to tap in there. You know, you the free rental property.
Yeah,
guy,
no.
So, we got to get more doors. So listen.
Hey, my goal, is, for everybody, my mentorship is really to, help them acquire. Acquisition is probably the hardest part of real estate, although there are different facets of it. But at the end of the day, if you could get real estate, acquire real estate, the money's going to come. The real estate is going to attract if it's a good deal. And then from there, everything else is going to form.
Could you say that again, please?
What's that?
You said the real estate is gonna what?
Once you acquire the real estate,
Yeah, you said
the money's going to come.
You said it's gonna. You used the A word. You said the real estate is gonna
Attract.
if it's a good deal. You said the real estate
is going to attract the money.
if it's a good deal.
Yes.
You said the real estate.
Say it again.
Is gonna.
I called it. He don't know what he said, and I called it.
I mean, hey.
What we talking about?
Acquisition.
Yeah.
We talking about romance and real estate.
Yeah.
You said the real estate
It's going to attract.
is going to attract if it's what?
If it's a good deal.
If it's a good deal, are you a good deal?
Man.
Are you a good deal? That's the question of the day. Are you a good deal?
Are you a good deal?
You know what I mean? Hey, we about to get out of here, man. Thank you for tapping into another episode of First Generation Wealth Builders, man, where we interview dope people like these ladies and we discover their relationship with real estate. But we got something in store for you guys, man. We got an episode that's going to be called Romance and Real Estate. Stay tapped in for more information, man, and we'll let you know when it comes out. Till then, peace.
They're going to drop a link connect.
Oh, man. So we can edit this part, but where can they find you guys at?
Very simply, you can go to getandstaymarried.com, getandstaymarried.com, and there you will find the 3 secrets women everywhere are using to get and stay happily married.
Where could they find you guys on Instagram?
You can also find us at
The Marriage Makeover.
or at Shanoria _ the confident one. That's a lot. SHANORIA _ the confident one. On
All right. Yeah, my bad for the blooper, but it happens. It's in real life.
It's real life.
I'm showing up in my real character.
Authentic. That's right.
I got
Yes.
All right.
You gotta apologize that it happened. We good.